Hey guys, so 2 points before we get into this video. One, a major thank you to Shadlos for giving me all of the information I'm about to share with you, and all of the corrected information as well from the last video that we may have gotten wrong. And two, this will be my only upload, for today at least, because it's actually my birthday. So once this is live on my channel, I'll be probably out somewhere eating a steak and you know, doing what birthday people do. Yeah. Don't worry, I'll eat a steak for you too, bud, or a salad if you're a vegetarian, or I'll just breathe in general if you don't like anything ever. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoy the video. So, new trivia about aberration appeared on the ARK wiki that is rooted in fact. And Rockwell's tech hologram explorer notes have been translated. Now let's go over these. It seems that if an overseer is completely destroyed, the ARK it is operating will slowly start to crumble and ultimately self-destruct. Helena and Santiago managed to prevent this self-destruction from happening by hacking into the obelisk and shutting them down. Right afterwards, Rockwell ascended with pure element and transformed into a horrible monster of tentacles. He was chased down and defeated by Mei Yin and Helena. Cast down into the depths of aberration, Rockwell began to morph into a living conductor of element, therefore claiming the role as the new overseer, which the ARK needed to be stable. Now, there are multiple inaccuracies with this we need to clear up. First off, I'd like to clear up a few of my own. I was wrong about the Nameless. Rockwell did not make them, as Mei Yin encountered them far before Rockwell and Helena even arrived on aberration. As far as I know, they have been there since the decimation of the surface. Mei, essentially, was on aberration while Rockwell and Helena were on scorched earth. So the Nameless were around since even before then. However, Helena later on does seem to note Rockwell later seems to be controlling them. Granted, how the Overseer or ARK has been able to suddenly take control of the island's creatures at its whim, since Rockwell is the overseer of aberration in a sense, this is plausible. Secondly, clarifying the ascending off the island, what we know. Mei and Nerva's body were the first to ascend off the island. Rockwell ascended sometime after. Helena was the last to ascend off the island. We can put the following together. Mei and Nerva were likely the first to ascend off the ARK. Strangely enough, this might mean aberration was our intended destination. Maybe. Regardless, Rockwell was the next to ascend. From what we know, Helena wasn't too far behind. However, she was knocked unconscious by a sucker punch from Mei Yin beforehand. When Rockwell activated the terminal, he probably saw the last destination it sent somebody to, which was aberration, and in trying to go there, changed the destination and teleported himself to scorched earth. Helena woke up sometime after, before she, in her own dumbfounded tinkering, ended up warping to scorched earth. So why does Rockwell theorize the ARK's teleportation is through time and space? Well, we know that Rockwell had quite a bit of time on scorched earth. At first, he was the doctor at a sort of masonry, but later left after growing irritated with the ignorance of those there. He was later detained by a group of bandits and their leader, who were impressed with Rockwell's intelligence on the artifacts and the ARK. They began to seek similar powers as Nerva did, likely from him hearing a backstory on the island. Then they gathered up the artifacts and slayed the Manticore. It was here that Rockwell apparently found element ore. Somehow, he later then poisoned the entire victory banquet, Thieves' Head, killing all of them before leaving. This is actual proof of Rockwell's earliest insanity. As a matter of fact, his insanity is first hinted on back at the island. He believes Helena to be more in Nerva's favor than his. He develops a hatred for Helena, believe it or not. This persists even through finding her on scorched earth. Later, he has somewhat of a duh moment. While he's a physicist and chemist, she is a biologist, so she has no true interest in element as he does. He seems to hate her less, but only less. However, he sees her as a rival in knowledge. and he seems convinced. He both thinks she is the better scientist, and she's out to prove it. That persists from Scorched Earth all the way into Aberration, where his insanity reaches its greatest peak. Helena on Scorched Earth has not had quite the adventure. She joined a caravan, lived in a desert town, then lived with Rhea for a while. Compared to Rockwell, it's easily assumed that he spent more time on this ark than she did. Rhea even states seeing a portal open in the sky. This was assumed correctly to be Rockwell's portal. However, she did not arrive in time. Yet days later, Helena's portal arrived. Rhea saw Helena from the back of her wyvern and tracked her ever since. And now we're going to get into some more information about the Overseers and the Arks self-destructing and all of that fun stuff. So it seems that if an Overseer is completely destroyed, the Ark it is operating will slowly start to crumble and ultimately self-destruct. Not directly. There's no evidence to subject self-destruction at all. Think about the Overseer itself, though. When we beat the Overseer on the island, it seems to enter an inert state. There's what looks like to be a deactivated core on the floor of the battlefield. The rest of the Overseer itself seems to then leave this form and power up the teleportation device. This isn't a kill per se. This can be considered a defeat. Even a TKO, technical knockout. The Overseer basically going, okay, you're strong enough, you win. Now what happens to the Overseer on Aberration? It was completely obliterated using what was, for all intensive purposes, a tech nuke. On its defeat on the island, technically, the Overseer is still alive. The Overseer itself activates the teleportation matrix, or whatever it is, and sends us to our destination. But the Overseer wasn't defeated on Aberration. Diana and her soldiers destroyed it. This means a critical component of the ARK system was suddenly removed. Think of the ARK's network as your computer. If one simple core device becomes damaged or unusable, slowly, the rest of the computer follows. Now remind yourselves, Diana and her fellow tech survivors basically offended the Overseer. Recall what happened when the Overseer of Scorched Earth decided to punish Rhea's city. It summoned hordes of wyverns before eventually saying, okay, no more messing around, simply swallowed the city whole. The Overseer probably didn't realize Diana and the tech survivors as the threat they truly were until they hacked past this. To this, the Overseer probably took as an extreme offense, not worth gradual punishment. Think of it. Compare the crimes, building a city and hacking the ARK itself. The city was punished 3 times in graduating levels of harshness. Mantis attacks, wyvern attacks before the city was finally swallowed whole. Diana and her tech survivors committed a far greater offense, which demanded a harsher punishment. However, it is unlikely the Overseer could not battle the survivors as well as program the punishment in time. What likely happened as the Overseer was destroyed was that the order to punish the tech survivors was still given. However, the rest of the system, without its core, could not figure out how to do this efficiently. Were the Overseer still intact, this punishment would have been swift. Yet it was damaged, so it was struggling to enact what it needed. This could be the true malfunctioning the ARK is going through. It's trying to punish the tech survivors, currently, by creating Reapers and Nameless, but that's it. It can't enact the big punishment, but it knows they need to be punished. Again, think of your computer. If your computer starts trying too hard to accomplish a task and it can't do it correctly, what happens? A crash, or in some cases a freeze. The ARK network, in a sense, is no different from a computer. It's trying to do something, punish the survivors. That's why the obelisks are flashing. Yet without their core part, the Overseer, it can't do this effectively. It's trying hard to do something it can't achieve, so it will either somehow manage to do this or crash. Both of which, with the ARK as unstable as it is, would definitely lead to disaster, which could very well mean the destruction of ARK. Most likely in the form of detonation of some sort. To further explain, we need help from Rockwell himself. His 2 tech hologram notes with text on them were recently translated. They read, Rockwell, number 28. Primitive. Savage. How dare you? You are nothing. I am a god. How dare you? Hate you. Hate you. Hate you. Where have you banished me? What is this place? What is this feeling? Everything. Yes, everything. The earth and the sky. Every stone and every crevice. I feel it all. What is this place? Where am I? Here, Rockwell has likely fallen to and awakened in the place where we find him today. Apparently, he has already been connected to the ARK itself. And Rockwell number 29. I am beginning to understand. It was hard to comprehend, for my eyes are still newly opened. I did not use to see as I see now, nor did I speak as I speak now. When I speak, it is not to a man. They are lesser beings. When I speak to this place. I speak to the ARK, and it speaks back to me. It tells me secrets, things that I could have never understood as I was before. It whispers to me of something greater, a plane ever higher than the one I walk now. We can reach it, the 2 of us, the ARK and I together. Now this Explorer note is terrifying. Rockwell is fully integrated into the ARK network and the network of the station. Yet what does Rockwell mean? It whispers to me of something greater, a plane even higher than the one I walk now. We can reach it, the 2 of us, the ARK and I together. It's something scary. Actually, in a sense, terrifying. Well, if you take ARK's lore into consideration, the ARK is talking about Homo Deus. What's even more terrifying is how Rockwell words what he was told. A plane even higher than the one I walk now. This is the ARK itself telling him, in a nutshell, a single Homo Deus is more powerful than even Rockwell as we know him. Homo Deus literally means God-man, or man-god, however you want to put it. We have seen Homo Deus once, and that was in the Hall of History before the Overseer battle, in the visual area beforehand. We have seen holograms of humans and prehistoric species, but what we have seen in this 3rd containment definitely doesn't appear to be a hologram. Take a good look at it. It's eternal, ghostly. It seems to be made up entirely of energy and is of a blue coloration. It might give you some chills down your spine if you look at it, but in a sense, aside from an initial fright, doesn't it seem strangely benevolent? We can argue Homo Deus might actually be something good, something benevolent. Maybe Homo Deus was at first benevolent, like-minded individuals who use their powers properly. Yet then, just like in real life, somebody else with the wrong set of morals gets their hands on this power. From the Overseer's arena, we can see a massive scorched crater on Earth. There was a massive release of some sort of energy. What if that energy caused a literal war of the gods? It's unmistakable. Good Homo Deus, if they were in their right mind, would never allow bad Homo Deus to be a thing. If Homo Deus is the ascended version of the human race, then that means one thing. It's reasonable to assume that Homo Deus are evolved descendants of Homo sapiens. Modern humans, they are just as flawed. So more or less, the moral of all of this, at the end of this, the take-home, is that ARK's storyline is going to go very deep. And I have heard from some inside sources that a lot of things are going to be revealed in Extinction. Something massive is probably going to happen, and something absolutely incredible as well in regards to the storyline. This is probably going to be some kind of life lesson for everyone, too, that's listening. So you should definitely pay attention to the storyline of ARK. Now, there are way more notes that I have in this entire, I guess, text document of information, but I haven't gone down through all of this. I've only shown you the stuff that I feel is relevant to what may, I guess, tie into the storyline and to this video's ultimate goal of explaining the ARKs and their detonation sequence along with what may have happened to Extinction and Earth in general with good Homo Deus and then bad Homo Deus. which it's not entirely unlikely that a bad Homo Deus uprising could have happened because of a difference of opinions, because ultimately, what starts all human conflict? A difference of opinions. Usually they're a severe difference of opinions, but you guys get the idea. These things are still conscious beings. They can have different thoughts and form different ideas around things because of their ideology and how all of it works, basically. I mean, look at political parties and stuff like that. A big enough discrepancy in a opinion can lead to a flat-out war. Leads to threats. Leads to all kinds of things. I'm thinking what's going to end up happening is at the end of all of this, there's probably going to be some kind of cinematic or, I don't know, some kind of like movie-ish type of skit where maybe we, I don't know, plug into the ARK at some point, or like a master terminal that's on Earth controlling all of the ARKs, and we finally see what happened to the planet. And maybe there's some big, you know, amazing message for the real world, and maybe there's not. Maybe it's all just pertaining to the game. But a lot of these games, when they go deep into the storyline like this, they try to relate to real world events and real world things. Like, they try to project that out into the real world and have more of an impact on the gamers like you or me or you know, Joe down the street that are playing these games. So in my mind, I think I'm gonna try and call it. I think at some point we're gonna plug into the ARK network in Extinction, and we're going to see a cinematic. And I think, because like we rarely see cinematics in ARK. The first time we've seen a cinematic really is really only at the end of each DLC or the game itself, when we ascend from either the island or Aberration. Then we get our little cinematic snippets. Scorched Earth will have their cinematic soon for the ending, but judging from what they've been doing recently and this whole trial and error of the Ascension system and doing a cinematic thing there, I think there's going to be some kind of cinematic showing exactly what happened on Earth and what the Homo Deus are. I don't think ourselves personally, I don't think we will become Homo Deus. It doesn't make sense gameplay wise, because I mean, you could be a Homo Deus then and, you know, wipe out entire bases with, like, just look at it and arch your eyebrow and it's like, I don't like that, and bam, it's gone, basically, more or less. That's the way that I understand that. Or maybe we gain powers over the ARK where we can choose what spawns where, and if it attacks someone, or if we want someone's base wiped out, you know, maybe it caused so many element points or something like that. I don't know. But guys, that is it for this video for now. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. If we got anything wrong at all, well then correct us. Please correct us, because that's how we do better with these videos. If you have any of your own theories, well then let me know in the comments section as well of this video. And that's it, guys. I will see you in the next video.